So network file system. So like FTP, NFS is also a file server, but it is online file server. So what is NFS? NFS means network file system. By configuring NFS server, we can share the files and directories in the network. So what are the features of NFS servers? NFS will enable multiple computers to access the same files in the network. So everyone can access the same data online. So next feature is NFS will reduce the storage cost by having file system shares and application shares. Like you can install one application in one server. No need to go for each and every server, you cannot install. Just to share it, they can mount and they can use the application. So NFS provides data consistency and reliability. So whatever the data is updating on client sides automatically updates on server side. So reduces the system administration overhead. Is 2049. You have to remember the NFS port number 2049. So interview point of view, they will ask the question, what are the demands of NFS server? So NFS server demands are NFSD, Mount D, Lock D, Stat D. So generally RPC.NFSD, RPC.MountD like this we can also call, but interview point of view you can explain like this, or NFSD, Mount D, Lock D, Stat D. What are the client demands? Lock D and Stat D. So then they will ask the question, what is NFSD? So it enables file system exporting and file access requests from remote clients. So what is the work of NFSD? If they will ask the question, you have to give the answer. It enables file system exporting and file access requests from remote clients. So what is Mount D? This daemon handles mount requests from remote clients. So this daemon also provides which file systems are mounted by which clients. So it will also handle that feature also. Next, lockd. So it is for the file locking services on both NFS server and client side. So I will going to be explain what is this file locking service and later. Stat D, it interacts with lockd daemon and provide crash and recovery functions. So these are the four daemons we are having. So you can also explain one another daemon also you can explain. That is a port map by default will run, but to network point of view, you can also explain port map. This daemon provides connectivity between like RPC program also you can call remote procedure call. Port map, this daemon provides initial connectivity between clients and server. So these are the daemons you can explain in interview point of view. So server side daemons, you can explain port map, NFSD, Mount D, Lock D, Stat D. Client side daemons, Lock D and Stat D. Next, NFS versions. The first version of NFS is NFS version 2. So version 2 was the first version of NFS protocol in widely used. Version 2 continues to be available on large variety of platforms. So we can have so many Unix flavors like Linux flavors we are having, and Unix flavors also we are having. Solaris, IBM AX, HP Unix, SCO Unix, like widely used version in olden days, NFS version 2. After that, they introduced NFS version 3. So version 3 protocol must be running on both NFS server and clients. The NFS version 3 protocol can handle files that are larger than 2 gigabytes. The previous limitation has been removed. So NFS version 2 supports up to 2 GB file sharing only, but version 3 onwards, so it shares larger than 2 GB data also. NFS version 4. So NFS version 4, now we are using whatever the latest version of NFS version 4. The NFS version 4 protocol represents the user ID and the group ID as strings. NFS map ID is used by the client and the server to do the following: to map these versions 4 ID strings to a local numeric ID, to map the local numeric IDs to version 4 ID strings. So up to now, NFS only system authentications. Version 4 onwards, so user ID maps also they introduced, and machine local numeric ID map to version ID maps they introduced. So this NFS map ID or ID mapped. So in Linux we can use as a ID mapped. NFS map ID, ID mapped, both are same. Depending upon the versions, the name will change. So from NFS version 4 onwards, these daemons are replaced. Mount D, stat D, sorry, not mount D. Stat D and log D are replaced by ID map D in NFS version 4. So generally they will ask the question, what about log D and stat D in NFS version 4? So NFS version 4. So these two daemons work will do by only daemon, that is ID map D. Now configuration of NFS we are going to see. Before going to see the configuration, just we have to know the disadvantages of also NFS. So disadvantages, it increases the system boot time, because when the system is booting, if you mount your NFS share permanently, it will send the request to your server. If your server is not timely recognize your system, so your client will always send the request to server, it will not boot properly. So unnecessary mounting the file system. So if you are working with the mount point to NFS mount, or if you are not working with NFS mount, so unnecessarily it will send the request to server. That is also a disadvantage. And if NFS server is down, the clients will not boot properly. Server is down, but you mounted NFS share permanently. So always it will send the request to your server until it is available. So if server is down, if you boot your client system, so it will start while booting, it will start sending requests to the NFS server. So server will down, clients will not boot properly. In that time, we have to go to the system maintenance mode, open the fstab file, you have to comment out the permanent mounting. So version 2, 3, 4 already we discussed. Log D, stat D daemons are replaced by ID map D in NFS version 4. So configuration file of NFS is /etc/exports. Port number is 2049. Now we are going to see the configuration of NFS server. So by default, NFS package is installed in the system. So that package name I will show you, rpm-q NFS star. QA NFS star. So NFS-utils is the package of NFS server. If interview point of view, if they will ask the question, what is the package of NFS? NFS-utils. Now configuration of NFS server, I am creating one directory mkdir/mynfs. So open the configuration file vi/etc/exports. Here write down the sharing information slash mynfs star read rate comma sync. So /mynfs we are sharing the directory. Star means any system, any network. So NFS is not user authentication, it is a system authentication. So any system, any network can access the mynfs share. So RW means permissions read write, sync means online synchronization. Now we are going to put some files under NFS, cd mynfs, create some files, touch AA, BB, CC, DD like this. Now, just now we written the entry in configuration file. I want to export it. To export the NFS share, export fs hyphen v means verbose, a means all. Exporting my NFS. So start the NFS service. Service NFS start. To see the NFS shares, show mount hyphen e. I want to see the shares, whether shared or not. So export list for server 18 /mynfs is exported to whom? Star. Star means any system, any network. Now stop the firewall. Service IP tables stop. Firewall is stopped. Now go to client side, access the NFS share. So go to client side, log into root. Now right click. So if you want to access, what you have to know? So you have to know whether the NFS server sharing the resources to you or not. To see the NFS shares from client side, show mount hyphen e server IP address 192.168. Our server IP address is 0.18. So my NFS is shared. I have a permission. Star means anybody they can access. Now I want to mount NFS share. Create one directory mkdir/nfs. You can give any directory name. I given NFS. Now mount hyphen t means file system type NFS. So where the path is located sorry 192.168.0.18 colon slash, what is the share path mynfs, where you want to mount local directory NFS /NFS mounted. Now to see the mounted file systems with permissions, df space, sorry, to see the mounted file systems with file system type, df space hyphen capital T. See, my NFS is mounted. File system type is NFS. So now df hyphen H, you can check here also. So NFS is mounted. Now go to NFS. Now check the files. So like this is online sharing. So whatever the work you are doing automatically updates on server side. Whatever the server side updating automatically you can get into your mount point. So I want to mount to the NFS share permanently, but don't mount in your system, because if you forget to start the NFS server, if you start client, it will not boot. Go to last line. Server IP address 192.168.0.18 colon, share path is my NFS. So local mount point is NFS. File system type is ext4. Permissions defaults. So 0, 0. Like this, you can share the, so you can mount the NFS share permanently. But now I am not saving. But interview point of view, they will ask the question, how to mount NFS share permanently. So permanently means FS tab. Open FS tab file. Go to last line. Write down the entry of NFS path. Next. So client side only one command, mounting the NFS share. Now go to server side. Server side. Now, how to share a NFS share for particular system. So I want to share my /home directory for particular system in the network. So vi/etc/exports. Open this file. Escape O, insert a new line, /home. I want to share for particular system 192.168.168.0.155 / permissions. Read only permissions only I am giving. Sync. So generally, in real-time scenarios, to take the backups, they will not run on this server, because the CPU utilization and memory utilization is more. That is the reason what they will do. They will share to another computer, so which are having less resources, which are using less resources. They will mount their system. They will take the backup. So I am sharing my home file system to particular system 155. Save the file. Now, new entry we written in the exports file. So interview they will ask the question, I written a new entry in the exports file. Do you need to restart the NFS services? Yes or no? So generally we are giving to answer yes. Yesterday, a service VSFTPD restart, we did any new changes, we restarted the services. Like that same question they will ask in NFS. In NFS, no need to restart the service. We have a command is there, export FS. Export FS -v A. V means verbose, A means all. So export all. Now see, show mount space -e. Now see, without restarting the services, /home is also exported to the particular system 192.168.0.155. So the system which are having this IP address, they can only access. Now go to client side, try to mount it. We have to check whether it is mounting or not. This is the IP address 192.168.0.30. Now see, show mount -e. You are checking 192.168.0.18. So /home is mounted, but you don't have the permission, but you are trying. Mount space -t NFS 192.168.0.18 /home/mnt. There is an optional directory in Linux to mount the partitions. So access denied by server while mounting, because you don't have the permission. Like that particular system also we can share. Now, how to share the NFS share for the particular network. So I want to share the Oracle for particular network, Oracle file system. Open the file va/etc/exports. Now go to last line, insert a new line /Oracle. I want to share for the 10 series network, 10.0.0 series. So here permissions, read write comma sync. Same scenario. Save the file. Export the shares. Export fs -v j. So show mount space -e exported. Then how to share a NFS share for particular domain? Open the file. Same va/etc/exports. So here Hadoop. For example, Hadoop. I want to share for star.india.com network domain. Star means any system in the india.com domain. So if you want to give the particular system, you can give the server1.india.com, server2.india.com, like that you can mention the names. So read write comma sync. Okay. Save the file. So like this you can share the NFS shares. Export fs -v a. Show mount -e. So like this you can share the NFS share for any system, any network. You can share the NFS share for the particular domain. You can share the NFS share the particular system. You can share the NFS share the particular network also. So now how to unshare a NFS share? So I want to unshare a particular share, not all, particular. So I want to unshare my NFS. So export fs -u star means first you have to tell the permission :/my NFS. So if you want to unshare /home, export fs -u 192.168.0.155. Permission we have to tell. 192.168.0.155 :/home. See unshared. Now see show mount hyphen only Hadoop and Oracle is sharing position. These two we unshared. To how to unshare all? Export fs -ua. UA means unshare all. Now check the shares. Show mount space -e. All are unshared. How to share all? Already we seen the command. Export fs -v a. So all are shared. Now check the command. Show mount -e. Now interview point of view, they will ask another question. So how to share a NFS share? They will ask the question. So what is the steps? Explain, they will ask. So we are going to explain, create one directory or create some files in the directory, open the configuration file, then write down the directory path and to whom we want to give the permissions, give that permission and give the read write permissions, are like that we have to explain. So they will ask immediately, is there in any other way to export the files through NFS server? Is there any other way without writing the etc exports file? Can you share the NFS share? They will ask the question. So other question same, they will ask how to share a NFS share temporarily. See, both answers are same. Without writing the entry in etc exports file, can we share NFS shares, or how to share a NFS share temporarily? Both are same, different questions, but the answer is same. So we can share a NFS share temporarily without writing the entry in etc exports file. Now I am creating a directory mkdir/data. So go to data directory, create some files. For example, I am telling you Now I want to share this directory without writing the entry in etc exports file. Now how to directly run the command export fs / data star dot colon / permission we have to tell data. Now see show mount -e. See / data is share. This is temporary share only. So when you restart NFS services or when you restart your system, automatically it will unshare whatever the entries are there in etc exports, they will only automatically share. So this is data is temporarily a particular time, maybe for 1 hour we are sharing this directory, you can access these files, you can do this work. Like that real time scenarios, we can share the NFS share temporarily. Now what we are going to do, go to where some important files here, we are going to see where lib /var /lib /nfs directory. Here give the command ls. Here it shows some files e tab and rm tab. Cat e tab, you can check the file cat e tab. So here which NFS shares it shared, it shows Oracle is shared, home is shared, so Hadoop is shared, data is shared, my NFS is shared. So this command displays which NFS shares share presently. Presently all are shared. That is the reason it's showing all. So presently if you unshare some, only presently which shares are shared, it will display. Like in file system management, presently mounted FS tab, temporarily mounted M tab. Like that, presently mounted NFS shares display in ETAB file. Permanently NFS shares we written in exports file. Now RM tab. So this will display who are mounting your file systems. So when they are accessing your file systems, which systems are accessing your file systems, it writes the entry in RM tab file. Remember these two files also. These are important files. We have to remember these two files. So this is the NFS server configuration. So questions they will ask: purpose of NFS server, features of NFS server, disadvantages. See, I am writing here. Purpose of NFS server. Features of NFS server. Disadvantages of NFS server. Demons of NFS server and NFS versions. Port number. Configuration file. Like this they will ask the questions. So you have to explain properly purpose of NFS, features, disadvantages, demands, NFS versions, port number, configuration file. And also one question they will ask, what is stale NFS? Stale NFS. Stale NFS means if NFS clients are accessing the files, if server is disconnected from the network, so you are accessing files, you are writing some data, but suddenly server is disconnected from the network. So in that position, what will happen? So that position is called stale NFS. So when the server, when the clients, so whether client is accessing, if client is down also same stale position. When the clients are accessing the data from NFS server, if server is down or disconnected from the network, servers, so they will ask servers cannot be down. So in that scenario, you can say are disconnected from the network. That position is called tail NFS. So what you have to do to come out from this? So if in this scenario, what will happen? So in this scenario, the locked daemon. See, files are going on. Suddenly, locked daemon provides file locking services. File locking service on both server and clients. So how to troubleshoot? Troubleshoot means there is no troubleshooting when the server connected in the network. We have to restart the NFS services and remove the NFS shares. On client side. In this process, the stat D daemon interacts with locked daemon. Already we discussed in daemons, locked daemon, and provide crash recovery function. Crash recovery function. So this is the question they will ask. What is tail NFS compulsory? So simply you can give the answer when the clients are accessing the files. If server is disconnected, the stale position will happen. So in that process, the locked daemon provides file locking services on both server and client side. When the server connected in the network, we have to restart the NFS services on server side and remount the NFS shares on the client sides. So in this process, the static daemon interacts with locked daemon and provides the crash recovery function. See, this is overall NFS server and NFS clients. So you have to practice properly. So whatever the things I written here, so you have to go to like the purpose of NFS, features of NFS, disadvantages, demands, NFS versions, port number of NFS, configuration file, how to share already practically we've seen, and what is tail NFS. So today we are going to stop here. Tomorrow I will intimate whether the class will are there or not. Next class we are going to discuss about Samba server. So that is also a file server, but to Samba is a file server sharing the resources from Linux server to Windows clients.